Transmitting to you from Old Heart Radio.
It's number 24.
Yeah,
I wrote it down again.
Hey,
So
look at this guy.
Look at this. I'm forming good habits. Oh. Well, I guess, we might
Fade
as well
out.
just
Bring in the Simpson wave.
bring in the Simpson wave. Yes,
There it is.
that is actually, it's the Simpson wave playlist on
YouTube?
YouTube, the YouTubes. I almost
Hopefully this
forgot
isn't
the name of the YouTube.
giant.
It's like a 200
Media-
plus video playlist.
Oh, damn.
Dude, it's
Great
insane.
shit. Hopefully none of this is copywritten,
Hopefully not. If it is, whoever made it's probably not listening to this.
Yeah. Just getting fucking
Snap.
copyright. Fucking Simpson wave. This is good shit, though.
Either
You just,
way, shout outs to whoever's fucking playing.
yeah, you just showed me this like a couple weeks back before we recorded, and hey, it's
beautiful.
very entertaining stuff.
Yeah. Well, shout outs to Yellow Teeth, who used to record podcasts on here.
Hey.
He actually showed me this shit like years
Cool.
ago, and like it's grown exponentially since then.
Yeah.
Like, it was just fucking nuts.
It has that cool sort of audio-visual aspect that,
Yeah.
hey, it's trippy as fuck.
It's the combination,
It's the
man. It's like
the
an armpit and
combination.
deodorant, It's
Oh.
like it's.
That's the old heart radio analogies right
I
there.
don't even fucking know. Let's just get this out of the way real quick.
Yeah.
Big shout outs to Starship Troopers.
Oh yeah.
It came out today, the day of this recording, which is a day in time.
Thursday, November 7th.
Okay, thank you. Sometimes you genuinely forget.
Here's the thing. If you're ever listening to this podcast, fellow viewer, and there is a listener, and there is a huge bombshell we don't talk about, is probably because there's a day between when we record this and when it is actually released.
Probably. It's, you gotta have the cushion. I gotta, like...
God, they didn't talk about the surprise release of Avengers 5. Who would have thought?
He was mixing the last one.
Oh, yeah. So, shall we, let's get into some of the news here.
Yeah, we got a little...
Number 2, took us only 23 episodes for us to start making a note list. So let's get some of the quick stuff out of the way. As you said, the Arnold Schwarzenegger of our time, Vin Diesel,
Oh, God. Yeah.
got his hands in just about everything, and almost
Oh,
everything
man.
he's in is just slightly mediocre.
It's just mediocre enough to be fucking hilarious.
In the case of Fast and Furious, like, sort of mediocre, but with a lot of budget behind it.
Oh my god, yeah.
So, Bloodshot.
I just watched the trailer, like the full. I watched like a clip of it, like when it came out, and I was like, "Oh, this is something I can pass on." And then I
weird.
watched the whole trailer, and it was definitely not worth watching the whole trailer. Like
It's got it's like, I feel like with all Vin Diesel, like, films that he's, like, the front man for,
Yeah.
all of them have the bones to be something interesting.
Oh, definitely. But they chose
they
Vin
all have
Diesel
Vin
as
Diesel.
their
It's
lead.
like the honest trailer for Fast 5, and he's like, coming back, The Rock, as a slightly more charismatic superhero, action character than Vin Diesel. It's like, Vin Diesel is Vin Diesel. He's like the lowest budget actor you can get just because he's fucking weird. Like there's other dudes that can fill that same role, like The Rock,
Fair.
The Rock.
Okay, well,
like Dave Bautista.
Let's yeah, Bautista.
Like even Momoa.
Let me augment that comparison then. Maybe he is like the Sylvester Stallone of our time.
Oh God.
Where he's like, because he reminds me, like, Stallone's just like monotone, one character, like,
He's
Rock-
he has a grumbly voice.
yeah, he's just the guy. I am Groot. Like, that's
Family.
yeah. The way Vin Diesel says
Rocky.
Groot is the exact same way that Groot says family.
See, hey, audio comparison here. Family. And then Rocky.
Rocky. They're the same. They're the same.
One of them's from Philadelphia and needs Botox to move his mouth. The other one's just lazy. Like, what else is it?
So yeah, I don't think. I mean, like the some of the cool like CGI and shit.
Yeah.
like the shot, like it's gonna be like the classic trailer shot.
Yeah.
Of him getting like half his face blown off and it repairing.
Which
like,
I mean,
sure,
like I saw it, I was like, hey, that looks sort of cool.
Totally.
So did half the stuff in The Last Witch Hunter, but you know.
Yeah. Totally.
Did you ever? Speaking of sort of like weird. One-off type stuff. Did you ever watch? And so this sort of reminds me of it to a point. There was a relatively small budgeted film called Upgrade a few years ago.
Oh no! It just came out on the HBO app. I was just gonna
check it out.
Check it
it's
out.
like Better Venom. Like
Nice.
it's the dude. He has like the voice in the back of his head, except it's like a computer. It is very much like up that same vein of like he just gives up control to like this other force that has control over his body.
Cool.
It's very cool. It gave me sort of the same vibe as this, just
bet-
with less like CGI.
I bet somebody watched that movie and then greenlit this
Yeah,
movie.
somebody watched that movie and was like, what if instead of just having like a robot OS controlling his body, he was already a badass and he had nanobots.
Yeah, so I mean, like honestly, I'm probably not gonna go see that movie.
This movie looks like something to be
Bloodshot.
playing on a red-eye flight at like midnight. That'd be
Fair
there.
enough.
Yeah. Like this and like some low-budget Anne Hathaway rom-com. Like that's
Like,
sort of
a
what I
good
expect.
combination, though.
Yeah,
You know, like,
you got one side that the dudes are watching one.
It pulls on all your emotions. Like,
Oh, yeah.
the double. That's what they should sell DVDs as now.
DVDs as
a
one
whole
rom-com,
emotional
one
spectrum.
Transformers movie. That's it. So I don't really have much else to say about that shit.
Nah.
Other than it looks decidedly mediocre.
Oh yes, subpar at best.
Speaking of subpar at best, Apple TV.
Yeah. I just keep like I'm so curious about like I've heard of like a handful of programs that have come out.
Yeah.
I don't know much about Apple TV.
Yeah, I was listening. So I have Shillcast, the return of the Old Heart Shillcast. I have a new iPhone.
Yeah.
So I got a year of this for free on my Apple ID. I'm gonna check it out. Haven't yet, but I was listening to another podcast, the Rooster Teeth podcast. Every Monday, go ahead and check them out. I like them a lot. They one of their guys, they were talking about all the releases here. It's like, yeah, it all has like some budget behind it, nothing too crazy, but like look at Jason Momoa, what an actor. I mean, like. The dude has, like, we were talking about this before the podcast, he has a foreboding presence, and he has a very intimidating presence, but he's not that good of an actor.
No.
Like, we were saying...
You brought up Batista
Yeah.
Earlier, and, like, Batista has... They fill the same spots.
Yeah.
They could fill the same potential, like, roles.
Yeah.
But Batista has, like, better comedic acting.
Yeah.
He has better comedic
And then
timing
even,
than
like,
Momoa,
with
that.
shit with Drax and Guardians, like, I think it's always pushed over, but Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2, there's that scene with him and Mantis where they're just sitting looking over a sunset.
Oh, yeah.
And he just is stoic as fuck describing the death of his family.
Yeah, it's
and
actually
Mantis,
kind of intense.
Yeah, it's very intense. And Mantis reaches over and she can feel people's feelings and she just starts crying.
Yeah.
And I mean, like, some would say that's just him, like, monotonely reading a line. I actually thought it was a pretty cool set delivery.
I agree.
Yeah.
I think as Batista is kind of like, he's making a place for himself for sure.
I feel like all these wrestlers going into, like, Hollywood, like, they are not bad actors. Like,
It's weird.
even John Cena ain't
John
half
Cena's
bad.
getting better. I'll say that. I've seen the Marine.
Yeah.
It was garbage.
Yeah.
But he's gonna be in the next. He's gonna be in Fast 9.
Yeah.
He was just like the Vin Diesel's constantly posting
Yeah.
stuff on Instagram about that shit,
Cena.
and like he just did something with Cena.
Family.
And John Cena's not part of the family.
I mean, I don't know about Apple TV. We'll see what happens there.
Yeah,
Maybe
I've heard like there are three main programs. One of them's with like Reese Witherspoon.
Yeah.
And, like the other one's with like Jason Momoa.
so it's the
obviously.
morning show, which I've actually heard is like decent.
Yeah, I've heard they're all kind of what we always call out. Like there's subpar. It's
I mean,
just,
like, and then it was C with Jason Momoa, where it's
Yeah.
like post-apocalyptic and everybody's blind,
which was
and
just
there's
like,
one child that's born with sight.
just such a wild fucking premise to me. Like I don't
Hey,
know.
weirder stuff has worked.
Weirder stuff has worked. But
It's
like,
all down
I'm
to execution.
just like I'm not like.
There's
buying
shit
every
that
gram
could have
of it.
crowd pleased that has just fucking bombed. So I mean,
Like I watched that trailer though, and I was like, "There's no fucking way all these blind people are pulling all of this stuff off."
is everyone Daredevil here?
Yeah, well, that's
and then
kind
there's
of
there's For Mankind, which is like, which looks
that's
intriguing.
The one I'm not,
It's like the alternate past where Russia made it to the moon first, so the U.S. is like, fuck it. Like, they sent a man to the moon, we're gonna send a woman to the moon. So it looks like it's all like based around like the sexism of like the 60s, 70s.
Okay.
Which, I mean, like, interesting concept.
Yeah.
Once again, down to execution. I've
weird
only
that-
heard that they're mediocre. Like, that's pretty much it.
Yeah, I'm waiting to hear what else like Apple TV starts building into its repertoire, but
I'm excited to see.
yeah.
I mean,
But speaking of like, let's just talk about its competitor coming up here, Disney Plus.
Disney Plus. I actually wanted to quickly throw out before we get into Disney
yeah,
Plus.
for sure.
Amazon just released the second season of Jack Ryan with John Krasinski.
Yeah,
Oh, it's so fucking good. I love that show. The first season was really good.
I'm telling you what.
Second season was solid.
So you've recommended it to me so many times. As I've said before, my girlfriend's gone for the entire month of December, so that's good. That's one of those shows I'm
Hey,
just gonna
that
be
one
like binge
short
watching.
and sweet seasons,
Yeah.
8 episodes a pop, about 45 minutes an episode.
I'm really looking forward to actually checking it out. I usually don't get into those, but like it's been highly recommended so many times. Like it's just
It's
like,
funny
it
to
sounds
me that
interesting.
there are some comedic moments in this, and
yeah.
his delivery is just Jim from The Office.
Yeah.
But then like he gets fucking down to business, and it has that satisfying sort of like. It doesn't. He's not one of those. There's a few moments where he goes like full action hero.
Yeah.
And it's justified with the fact that he was a Marine. But for the most part, he is very much. And it's sort of a lure of the Tom Clancy like type spy genre.
Yeah.
That all these, especially Jack Ryan, he's like an everyman type deal. Like he's just a normal dude that's super analytical.
Fair enough.
Like, yeah, and that's what's entertaining about it, is that a lot of it is very grounded.
cool.
Yeah. And
Yeah.
and especially the second season is very political and very contemporary.
Is it all out right now?
Yes, it's all out. It's one. It wasn't a staggered release. They just released the whole thing.
That's what HBO's been doing with a lot of their
Yeah.
shows lately. They've been doing like one episode at a time.
Yeah,
Like,
and
monthly.
I think that's cool.
It gives people it makes people keep their subscription. That's for sure.
I think there is a benefit to both sides. I think it's always fun binge watching a series, but then I will say the stuff that sticks with me a lot more is like the week to week releases.
for sure.
Yeah.
But speaking of binge watching and Amazon,
Yeah.
The Boys. I just saw that The
Hey, there
Boys
we go.
season 2 finished wrapping up filming, which I didn't even know
Yeah.
they had fucking started filming yet.
Yeah, I saw
But-
they started filming. This was a fucking quick filming season.
It had to have been because I mean, like
They announced it maybe a month and a half
the
ago.
turnaround of the show is probably going to be pretty fucking quick.
I wouldn't
Like,
be surprised if they sit on it, because it looked like the first season was like relatively low budget.
But it was instantly popular.
Yeah, they're gonna throw that out because of how popular it was. They're gonna release that as a competitor to something,
Oh, for sure.
like one of the other streaming services. They're gonna sit on it for maybe like another year or so,
yeah. Okay.
and then release it against like Falcon and the Winter Soldier or like
yeah.
Stranger Things 4, because
shit, they better not try and compete with Stranger Things.
Stranger Things would crush them.
Yeah,
I
no
feel
doubt,
like
no doubt.
I feel like they'd be able to put up a fight against Falcon and the Winter Soldier, though.
I think so.
Yeah.
Because everybody's still dicey on those Disney Plus shows. Yeah, nobody knows
Yeah.
if they're gonna be. I mean, everybody knows the budget's there, but nobody
The
knows
budget's
if
fucking
if they're gonna be
huge.
good. You know,
Yeah,
for
I
sure.
think I mean, like, hey, let's get into that. We were about to bring up
Yeah.
Disney Plus, and like these are all sort of in the same realm.
Disney
here.
Plus is extremely relevant right now because
It's about
as
to release.
I just saw this fucking thing. It says 2/3. A study just found 2/3 of fucking Americans are planning on getting Disney Plus.
I'm not fucking surprised.
You remember Batman Forever?
Yeah.
It reminds me of that scheme where the Riddler puts a fucking little device on everybody's TV and like
What
it sucks
the
their
fuck?
minds. That's what
I know.
Disney's doing right now.
I
They
mean,
got
like-
2/3 of Americans ready to suck their fucking brains out.
Like
And,
I've said,
it's
the value proposition for Disney Plus is so fucking fucking much. Like, I mean, say what you will about Disney as a company, the fact is that they have more like highly sought after and like quality cinema than a lot of other studios combined.
Yeah. Well, and I mean, like whether it's specifically under the Disney label or
Yeah.
like other film
Pixar,
companies,
Marvel, Star
like,
Wars.
you know, they're making tons of the best movies out there. That's
Yeah.
for sure.
I mean, like, even historically, like, they're releasing so much of their shit that people just haven't been able to watch ever. Mm-hmm. And, like, when it comes to, like, stuff from, like, the 1940s, like, Snow White's gonna be on there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, dude. They're
The first color film ever. It's like,
which is exactly, dude. That's
Yeah.
that's fucking historical.
yeah.
It's
I feel
historical that's going to be streaming on this thing that we now call the internet.
Yeah.
That thing was not even dreamed the fuck up.
Yeah, that would have
when
blown people's minds.
was originally
You see
made.
this shit in like the old episodes of Star Trek? It looks less technologically developed than my iPhone.
That's very true, man.
It's like
insane. It's insane. I love.
It's crazy.
I watch those old episodes all the time, and like it still baffles me to this fucking day. I'm just like, holy shit, man! What I'm looking at right now, what I'm recording on right now, is like.
Shout out to Blue Microphones. I know you guys are ad sponsors. I mean, like when it comes to that, I feel like something that people keep talking about when it comes to Disney Plus is like, oh, they're gonna have Disney. They're gonna have all of Disney. They're gonna have Star Wars. They're gonna have Marvel.
Yeah.
What a lot of it comes down to is that they don't just have that, but they have fucking everything else, even the old shit.
They have Fox too.
Yeah, they got Fox now
The
too.
Simpsons is gonna start streaming all 30 seasons of The Simpsons.
Which is just
are gonna be
crazy.
streaming at the start of that fucking.
We have a coworker that's a diehard Simpsons fan and is getting it just for fucking that.
I don't blame. I'm like, I saw that and I was like, that's pretty much worth it just to go watch all the Treehouse of Horrors, man.
Yeah,
like that's
shit.
fucking insane.
It's awesome.
And like they're doing like that fucking deal. It's like $12.99 for Hulu and ESPN and Disney Plus,
Which is just crazy.
which is insane.
Yeah, that's just amazing value.
And that's the like I thought it was so fucking insulting though.
That's just
how
them.
it's $12.99 because it's exactly what Netflix is right now, right? You knew they were going for the throat on that one.
Because I mean, like, because there's so much, they have such an established history of content, and it's actually at like a super low cost to them. All of this, so $12.99 is a very, very reasonable price point for them. They're probably still making money. You can tell that they're not just going for Netflix's balls. They're trying. They're about to stomp on Comcast and DirecTV's nuts.
Everybody.
I mean, like,
it's like I heard that. I heard things are like starting to come off Netflix, and they're going to be starting to come off Netflix pretty hard.
I'm not surprised.
Things like The Office are going to be leaving Netflix and going on to NBC's new streaming service.
What was it? Peacock?
I don't even fucking
I think
know.
that's what it was called.
Oh Jesus! I hope they like.
That's horrible.
Yeah, it's just not going to play. Like,
I mean, I get like the
iconic.
feethers is the thing, but you know, it's still dumb.
But don't call it Peacock.
Don't call it Peacock.
Like, yeah, I'm peacocking tonight.
No. Excuse me?
Sounds like something you do by yourself when nobody's home.
They might as well call that crushed by Disney Plus.
Yeah. I think for the foreseeable future, like, and people should try and like refrain from launching any new streaming service until like the Disney Plus thing kind of like
drops off, which it probably won't.
Well, I mean, like maybe get through initial enrollment. You know what I mean?
I mean, like, so with like we have on the list here, Falcon the Winter Soldier has started filming.
Yeah, absolutely.
And like so that's like, we need to keep in mind none of the Marvel stuff is coming out until a year after Disney Plus's launch. Yeah, which
is one of the most insane things to me. Like, the hype on these things is so fucking real.
It's unreal.
But like, that's not even going to be on there.
Yeah.
Like I mean, you're gonna have to like live off the fucking rewatching Endgame over and over again for a year.
I will say it's fucking genius because like we were just talking about, they're just not gonna lose viewers. The whole when Netflix has like a huge release like Stranger Things, the subscriber numbers go up for a fucking month, but then they dip back down to a normal level. Disney's making it so that's never gonna fucking happen.
That's true.
Like,
actually,
they're gonna be just like pounding out like. I'm gonna call it like it's gonna be like Disney releases some Pixar film, like Marvel comes out with a show, Star Wars releases a new show. There's gonna be some Nat Geo special. Like repeat that cycle.
Did I tell
monthly.
you about the Nat Geo show that I heard of? Like
what was it?
It's like gonna be a Jeff Goldblum Nat Geo.
Oh
show.
yeah, the world according to Jeff Goldblum, which
is gonna be fucking great.
Fucking great.
Shoutouts to Brundlefly. Dude, that's gonna be fucking awesome. But it's. I don't know, like Disney Plus is going to be taking over. They're doing yearly subscriptions, which makes sense when you think about like those Marvel shows aren't even going to come out for a fucking year. Yeah, the Marvel shows are going to be the Marvel shows are going to be rather than they're going to be like seasonally released. It looks like. So I wouldn't be surprised if they keep up that like fall show, winter show, spring show, summer show. But I did just see for sure that they are actually going to be putting Endgame on at the start of streaming. So no shit. Like they'd be stupid. People would be so salty if they didn't do that. Yeah, like people would be like, what the fuck? Well, here's Infinity War. We're gonna hold Endgame for a minute. Feige.
People calling him up, man.
I mean, like, let's just throw into it. What's Netflix coming out with?
Oh shit, yeah.
Try and compete here. So we got number 1. We got The Witcher, which I know you don't know fuck all about.
I don't dick all about Witcher.
So
it's. I mean, I watched both the trailers. It looks fucking cool.
It looks
whatever
dope.
It is, dude.
Henry Cavill looks great as Geralt.
I don't even. That's his name. Yes.
Yeah.
Okay.
So
I was like Henry Cavill.
The Witcher was originally a series of books.
Okay.
But what really got notoriety was that it's a huge game that was produced by, I'm pretty sure, CD Projekt Red, which means nothing to a lot of people. But to gamers, they're a huge producer of like story-based single-player games.
Okay.
Then they make really big, really detailed open worlds.
Sweet.
That like I think The Witcher average playtime to complete everything for it was around 150 hours.
Holy shit.
So it's like
big,
you have fucking Middle
kind of
Earth
thing.
to run around in pretty much, and that's sort of it. It's sort of like this bleaker, a bit more dark fantasy type version of Middle Earth.
Okay.
To be put like offensively to be put in like an almost offensively simple term, that's the way I'd say it. And so like the Witchers, they're essentially like hunters and like guys out for hire.
Yeah.
So
that's
like,
kind of what it looks like. It looks like he's going around killing like creatures.
He's essentially
that.
like an assassin that kills monsters. So like it's a very interesting tale and sort of the moral ambiguities of all of it. Like the games have a lot of positive press behind them. They're known, the entire sort of franchise is known for not just being like of extremely high quality, but like consumer friendly. And see, like the company that developed the games initially, they have a super good repertoire with their fans, and they take care of their fans. They're not like egregious about like microtransactions or anything.
Will be like pretty decent.
I don't think fan service directly, but they've set themselves up for success by adapting something to TV and film that already has a super good repertoire with its fans. Like if they tried to adapt like a fucking Call of Duty game, like people would expect like halfway through to like have a microtransaction to finish it.
Shit.
Like, hey, pay us $20 if you want to watch the last hour of this movie.
Well, and not to like, I feel like I've watched a string of like video game things that I've tried to like break through to like either movie or
some of them
TV,
are really bad,
and they just don't end well.
But
I'm really interested to see how this game goes as like a fucking like a series. Like
yeah,
this.
I actually think people need to stop fucking trying to adapt video games into movies.
They just don't make sense to me.
It makes way more sense to do it like a long form series.
Absolutely, that makes way more sense to me because like you're trying to replace direct character involvement.
Yeah.
And it doesn't make it. That's a really hard fucking thing to replace.
I mean, I think that like as a player in games, you have a lot more control over what's going on in the story.
That's what I meant to say.
Whatever semantics. You have a lot more control over what everything is happening, especially in The Witcher, which I think this is going to be their big challenge. Is that The Witcher games have a lot of player choice involved. Like you're talking to somebody and then like. You have your D-pad, and there's like you get a list of ways you could respond to their question.
Fair enough. Okay.
Like so, I'm intrigued to see how that'll play out because sort of every game has like a plethora of endings.
Yeah.
And like the next game, like there are 3 Witcher games.
Okay.
So like if you finish The Witcher 2 with this sort of ending, it'll even carry over to the third and affect what happens to the third one.
That's
based
cool.
on your account history.
Oh, that's fucking interesting.
Yeah, it's very interesting. Yeah. Like, there's a handful of games that have done this.
That's fun. That's like makes it like a more personal experience.
Exactly. But then that's to the potential detriment of the show.
Exactly.
So, like, I'm interested to see how that happens. Yeah. I mean, if you want to see something that's fucking hilarious, maybe we'll have to watch it at some point. The Hitman movie from a couple of years ago.
Oh, man, I never watched it, but we should.
Garbage. It'd be fun to just talk about on, like, a bonus features or something for everything wrong. We watched a Doom movie with The Rock.
Oh, yeah, that movie's another just like, we'll watch a string of, like, we'll do a bonus features.
Is it what he said?
Video game
Alcatraz, motherfucker. Like, I mean...
same thing with like I thought when they came out with that Assassin's Creed movie.
Oh God, I really so thought,
like
bad.
that like I've never really gotten so like super into those games personally, but like I've been like,
it's a franchise that lends itself to that kind of adaptation.
It would be a way better series, I think, if you go through like different, you could go through different times, like in different episodes, you know, like shit like that. Like, and I was just like, this movie just doesn't seem like a good format.
Oh, it was so tacky. Yeah. So like,
I played a ton of the Assassin's Creed games.
Yeah.
One thing that you can do, it's the leap of faith, and like.
That
It's never directly said, but like you can jump off of like a big thing. You do like you hear like an eagle and like you land in like a hay pit at the bottom.
It's like this fucking like.
It's a cool
huge
moment.
thing in the game. Yeah,
it's a cool moment whenever it happens, and like
I've
they
done
did it once in the fucking movie, and I love the fucking because it's projecting DNA based history. It's like this weird sci-fi technology. So like everybody, there's like a room filled with people, and they're all watching like a projector. As this dude is reliving the life of his ancestor.
Okay.
And they're all watching, and he goes, and in the past, they're watching the footage, and in the past, this fucker just jumping off of this thing. And a woman goes, the leap of faith. And I was like, is that fan service?
Garbage.
Or is that like catering to the lowest common denominator?
It's like when somebody says the name of the movie in the movie.
Roll credits. Like, and like not even like a good way either.
Nah.
Like when Yondu's about to kill himself in Guardians 2, and like you're a member of the Guardians of the freaking galaxy.
Like that's cool.
Because it makes sense in the moment. Seeing a motherfucker jumping off a bridge, you'd be like, oh, that dude's jumping off a bridge. You won't say the leap of faith.
Stop, yeah. The leap of faith.
While leaning back. It's so tacky. And I mean like we could just do an episode talking about the failures of video game movies.
I mean,
and
we really should, because it's just such an interesting thing. But
I'm excited to see what The Witcher does, because it does have like, we could do an episode on just talking about that world too. I mean, like, there's so much going on, and there's so much like positive fan affirmation behind that property. I wouldn't be surprised if it is super successful initially, and like a ton of people watch like the first 2 episodes.
Yeah.
But like past that, we'll be able to tell whether it's a fuck up or not.
Could you see did you ever get into like Elder Scrolls Morrowind?
Yeah.
Could you see like if this is successful and like created
it'll
like that, it could open up to
it'll open the fucking floodgates.
Could you imagine like an ongoing series of like where like set in like
Skyrim type deal? That'd be
like,
fucking dope.
Where like it's just like this fucking different character perspective every few episodes. You transition to a different character and you
that'd be
see
fucking
the world
dope.
there. Like that shit, like that's the future of like video game fucking
entertainment.
Like
I mean, like
televisions and
you could,
movies.
there's so much
movies,
shit.
Nah, television, yes.
Yeah, I mean, it's fucking crazy some of the shit that just has been fucked up in this medium when it comes to video games, because it's like there's so much good IP there and so much just damn entertaining content that just has been absolutely trashed by companies that don't pay it the respect it deserves. I feel like it's the next video game, like film and TV is like the next superhero thing.
I think so too.
Because I think they're gonna have, like superheroes have comics, video games have sort of, their video games are gonna be the base for like upcoming film and everything like that.
Yeah.
I mean, something that immediately comes to mind for me is the initial release of GTA 5, and how that entire game is essentially just a drama.
Really?
Like, if you play through it, it's like a comedic, like satirical drama, and like it's so fucking fun to just like go through the story mode of that. And like see how like
I don't know. I honestly haven't gone through a story mode since Vice City. I really need to.
Oh, Vice City is so good though too.
Vice City was
GTA
good.
5 was the first one where you could play as 3 different characters that all had these sort of like, one of them was like the new dude on the scene who just wants to like make something of himself and like organize crime, and then the other guy was like the grizzled, angry sort of old man that
Fair enough.
gets back into it so he can like feel happy again.
It's gonna be like the Bruce Willis character.
Yeah, and then there's the ape shit crazy dude that used to work with the other guy.
Shit.
Like it's a legitimately fun game.
Cool.
And like the story's great.
Yeah.
But like I'm blown, like that's something I could see translated into a short form series.
Okay.
Like even
totally. Well, exactly. Like you're talking about like those 3 different characters. Like you could easily create those characters and create those perspectives. Like
I mean,
on like and streaming is the way to do it with those movies. Like go to Netflix and create a fucking GTA series. Maybe GTA is a little too hot.
Showtime has a Halo series on the way.
Oh really?
Yeah.
That's fucking interesting.
Yeah, it's very intriguing.
Like,
I mean, like
they've done those animated movies, and there's so much like want to like expand. I think that universe from the fans of that universe.
Halo's fucking huge.
Yeah,
I mean,
and that was gonna be my other point when you're talking about these video game, like just all these video games and stuff, like the fucking fan culture behind these video games. Like
it's more passionate than a lot of
really realize that there's like millions of people playing video games. Like it's not just like
it's a bigger market than film and TV combined.
That's what I mean. It's not some small fucking community. Like
GTA 5 is the biggest financial entertainment release ever. It's to this. It's as of the most recent update, grossed $8 billion.
Wait, it was bigger than Titanic.
Whoa! You can see, but he just did the auga gesture.
I forget. We're not. This is just a podcast.
This is an audio-based medium.
It's funny how often we forget that.
$8 billion.
Shit.
$8 billion fucking dollars. So that's the upfront cost of GTA, which is $60. And keep in mind, it grossed $1 billion in 12 hours.
Yeah, I do.
Just that $60.
Remember hearing that.
And they have their online one.
Such a staggering statistic.
It's fucking crazy. They have their online version of the game, which is what's really making money, which is where you can buy these little like gift cards, and it gives you like $2.5 million of in-game money for like $20. What? That's the rest of the money they've made.
Oh shit!
Just think of that shit.
God damn! So people can just go hog wild in the game.
Yep. I mean, like, even like the craziest shit. There's a dude that spent $15,000 on a Transformers mobile game. Like, what? I just saw that article recently, and I was like, no shit.
That's insane.
Like, it's a huge, very profitable market.
That's the thing, though. It's like, and that's maybe this is my tinfoil theory for right now.
Okay.
So the superhero genre, the comic book genre in movies is just like this testing ground, right? Because they all knew that like nerd culture was kind of there, but like there was just like we're like the small petri dish. You know? Like, what if like video games? I think you're right. Video games may be the next like big thing that they try to tap in terms of like entertainment.
I mean, with comic book films, like there were some good ones, but then the vast majority of them were shitty for a long time.
Yeah, dude. Spider-Man 3, X-Men 3,
all the Blade movies.
Well, hold on.
Some of the Batman movies.
The first Blade movie and arguably the second Blade movie are kind of badass, kind of rocky for like some of the things in there, but like. Del Toro did the second Blade movie.
That's true.
I mean, like that gives it some credence. And Wesley Snipes' Blade was fucking incredible. Honestly.
Yeah, I guess he would. Like, have you seen the shit about him like being a pain in the ass on set?
I mean, I did hear
the
about
CGI
that.
eyes when he refused to open his eyes to the one scene.
I did hear about that.
Okay,
shit, but like,
correction: Blade Trinity and Spawn.
Thank you. Blade Trinity is a fucking garbage movie.
Same thing with Spawn.
Spawn was no matter how much I want to love Spawn, I have this like weird nostalgic place for Spawn because like I remember when it came out. I was fucking like blown away by it when it came out, and then like a few years later, not even like a few years later, you watched it and you're just like, God, this movie's garbage. Like it just didn't age well, and like now they're trying to Todd McFarlane's levying so fucking hard to make another Spawn movie.
Fuck it, they should.
But he's arguing that he needs to direct it, and that's the thing that I think the thing holding it up.
Yeah,
because nobody wants to attach themselves to it because it's his first time fucking directing a movie.
Yeah, I can't blame him.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know. I feel like there's been like video game movies are still in that.
Yeah.
There's still video games just from film and TV.
Ground.
Yeah, it's like they haven't found out the formula that works.
Yeah, well, I think The Witcher will help further that.
The Witcher will absolutely help further that. I mean, like best example, there's so much shit they can do because I think people get roped into video games being just the sort of like the story that plays out in a game.
Yeah.
The fact of it is that in a ton of these games, there's more. There's like a world. Mm-hmm. I mean, like look at like The Witcher is the perfect example. Like it's almost like fucking Middle Earth. Yeah. There's so much just like lore and like random shit going on in the background and previous events that have happened.
That's fucking
like
dope.
Example, a game I play, Destiny. You get these like little like cards with these stories on them by completing certain like challenges in the open world. Okay. And it tells you about characters that you never fucking met that have been like ranging from like hundreds of years in the past to other people that you've like sort of came across.
Oh, okay. So
and it sort of just breathes some life into the history of this world, makes it feel lived in.
Yeah.
Like as a fucking example, there's a story in it where it was like 400 years before your character even was alive. Mm-hmm. There's a group of people experimenting on this like robot creature that's like one of the enemies that you fight in game. Okay. And they found out that it was simulating them.
Oh shit!
And they had an existential crisis of whether or not they were the real versions of themselves.
What the fuck, dude?
And it turned out
shit's heavy, man.
Yeah, I know. And like it turned out that they were the real ones, but then there were also 250 of them having the same existential crisis and finding out they were fake.
Dude, see, this is where the video games just sound so like I've never successfully gotten like into like a long term
but
kind
it's
of like give video game relationship.
Like in that it's like that sort of shit. It doesn't have to be centered around like the heroic battle with evil that the main game surrounds. Like they can just flesh out these worlds and people will be more than happy to see them.
And that's the shit that's cool to me. Like, it's like finding these huge expansive worlds. Like I
mean, like I bring up
my girlfriend was she's playing this game
Horizon Zero Dawn.
Yeah.
Oh, it's so good.
I was just watching it and like kind of like getting into some of the story and like her telling me, kind of filling me in on some of the lore. It's just like, dude, like it's such a fucking cool world to like I don't know, just peek into.
I mean, like I bring up the Destiny example because Bungie is now a separate entity from Activision.
Oh,
they just bought themselves out. And they're talking about like we want to be an entertainment company. We don't want to be a video game company.
Dang.
And those are the guys that originally developed Halo. Yeah. Halo was bought off them by Microsoft, but
that's Bungie's. The Halo's the only reason I know Bungie's
name. So Bungie's the developers of Destiny, the game I play all the time. So that's why I brought up that example. Is that there's a very realistic possibility that they're going to be doing some of that shit eventually.
Dude.
So yeah, it's crazy. It's crazy.
Fucking cool. I'm excited for that, like to see where that leads us, because like the world, like we've seen like fucking Warcraft movie that didn't really.
I mean, like I heard it was decent. I didn't watch it, but I didn't
watch it. I heard mixed reviews, but I feel like eventually people put more work into.
I mean,
getting these characters like they're. It's
like a lot of people argue that like originality in filmmaking and entertainment is dead. And I mean, like I can agree to some regard, but the fact of it is like. It's okay for people to make honest recreations of stuff that already exists.
I would rather see people taking properties and kind of reimagining them into different lights than seeing like 1,000 fucking reboots of the same goddamn films.
Yeah,
like,
it's okay. It's okay to take something that was a book, a video game, movie, and make a take on it that's different.
Yeah. I mean, because it will inevitably be different. And that's what people have finally grown to accept. Like, people were so judgy at first.
Yeah.
That like, I remember this. I was one of those kids when comic book movies started popping out. I was so fucking judgy. I was like, where's the goddamn yellow and blue costume on Wolverine? And then they joked about it, and you're like, this is fucking right. Like, nobody in their right mind wants to see a dude prancing around in that goddamn outfit right now.
And I think The Witcher could open the floodgates for people to have that realization that it is okay for stuff to be taken from other mediums as long as something good is done with it. It's paid with respect. I think that's it. There's a lot of stuff about comic book films originally not being respected by the filmmakers because they were related to comics.
But who helped change that?
Feige. Hey, but on the note of we got about 10 minutes left. I want to hit this because I think it's intriguing. On the note of things being derivative but still original.
Yeah.
Stranger Things.
Oh my god, dude! So I was so excited when I saw that today. So okay. They released
breaking news with Old Heart Radio.
Stranger Things, the title for Stranger Things, season 4, episode 1, and it's gonna be titled The Hellfire Club.
So and like we were just talking about, Stranger Things is very much not the most original concept in the world, but it's doing something very original with what it has.
Exactly.
And that's why people fucking love that show. Mm-hmm. So The Hellfire Club.
Yeah. Obviously.
Enlighten those that might not know the significance of this.
Obviously an X-Men reference.
Obvious.
Obvious. For the layman. But no, seriously, I mean, it falls right in line with a lot of the progression that you've seen these characters go through. They're nerds at heart.
Yeah.
You know, like that you see.
They were
this is gonna be like
when 11 showed up, they referenced the Phoenix.
Exactly, and they've made numerous kind of like. I don't know. There's a lot of like kind of ties to like I don't know, the mutants and the way the mutants are kind of outcasts in the X-Men society, in the X-Men world, in the Marvel world, I guess.
Yeah.
And like how these characters sort of are
they're like the
rejects
outcasts
themselves, and like how they're sort of but they've saved the world numerous times, but nobody
they're unappreciated.
Knows them.
Yeah, nobody knows who they are just because of the merit of those actions.
Yeah,
like, it would be earth shattering for anybody to understand their significance.
It's interesting, but that's my only tie.
The Hellfire Club is like they're like the evil version of the X-Men.
Yeah, I guess I did kind of leave that out, didn't I?
I mean,
thank you.
Yes,
they are. They're like they are very much like an evil version of the X-Men.
Very Cletus aren't originally led by Emma Frost for a long time, right?
Yeah, who's a very powerful fucking psychic.
Yeah. While there's like the Brotherhood of Evil Mutants, that's Magneto.
Yeah.
Very on the nose title there.
Yeah.
I don't know why it's not just the Brotherhood of Mutants. It probably eventually became that because they realized evil was a bit too much. They
dropped the E.
They dropped the evil. But so my theory here is that they're gonna come across a bunch like they sort of did in season 2.
So you think
a bunch of the other experimented on kids
that
are all using their powers for some kind of like benefit to themselves.
I mean there's no other reason to have tried to further that.
Yeah.
Unless you wanted to later on.
I guess the deal with that episode in season 2 was that it was sort of a soft pilot for a show about those characters.
It felt so random in the entire series. It was a great episode. Yeah. But it felt so random in the entire series that makes a lot of sense.
It's a very interesting episode in the sense that everyone fucking hated it. Not because, in my opinion, that it was bad. I think some of the characters are a bit rocky
It wasn't that it was bad. It was just that it was like the timing of where it was in the fucking series.
It was a horrible
the momentum of the season.
Yeah.
Of the season. It was.
It's actually
weird.
Watching that episode is better if you skip it, watch the next episode, and then see 11 pop up at the end, and then watch that episode.
Yeah, because it kind of plays as like this, like, oh, this is
it's like what the fuck has she been doing? Like,
I agree with you on that. Actually,
yeah,
that's
it's interesting for me to think of because then you end the episode with 11 with her getting back on the bus, and you could sort of just like hard cut that to her in the doorway going and hugging Mike or something.
Totally.
Like I feel like that's interesting. I feel like it's interesting what they could do with those characters. Plus the fact that like we've seen only 2 of those.
Yeah.
But it sort of plays into my theory that number 1 is the fucking monster from the Upside Down.
Oh shit.
Yeah.
That would be so fucking cool.
Yeah. Like that they fucked up so hard on one of them that they ascended to this like almost like all-powerful state
that'd be interesting.
in another dimension, and that they just disappeared in the real world.
Dude, you're gonna have to assemble like
the fucking Avengers. That shit.
That'd be insane.
That's my theory. I've seen that a handful of times.
I would love to see that. Well, before we started recording, we were talking. You kind of brought up that they've been making comic book series.
Yeah.
Out of some of these like kind of storylines. Like
So they did
like the Upside Down.
Yeah. So the first one, it was like it was like some kind of like it was some joke about like rolling the dice with fucking.
Oh, are you talking about D&D?
Yeah. With like the one about Will was about like rolling the dice, and like it was like called like Critical Role or something like that. Okay. And it was him, what he was doing in the Upside Down during season 1,
which is such an
Demogorgon.
Like I mean,
it's not necessary for
what's going on.
Yeah,
but
it's not necessary for the overall storytelling, but it is very interesting to think of.
It's a great addendum.
Yeah, exactly. I mean? But then they also just released they announced this other comic called, I think it was Into the Flames, or Into the Fire, something like that.
Yeah, which would be right in line with.
Yeah, it's 2 of the other kids that were experimented on. Yep. Going and finding 9 from season 2,
and that's it. Like I think you're on the like right on the you're hitting the nail on the head where it's like this is where they're going with this season.
Yeah,
they're going to be assembling
because they're not Hawkins anymore.
They're fucking mutants, man. They're going to be assembling all these powered kids, and potentially they're going to have to like all assemble to finally destroy number 1.
I think that's fucking cool.
That'd be such a cool way to fucking like finish the story, because this is the last season.
I think they said they said 4 or 5.
I only heard 4.
Fuck, that'd be awesome. Because like it is hitting like this grandiose scale right now when it comes to like they're not like it used to be just like a small town, shit was going on in the small town. Now half of them have moved away.
Yeah.
Like half of them are adults.
The world has to get bigger.
Yeah, the world, and it's getting bigger. Like the post-cred scene for the last season was in fucking Russia, of all places.
That's true.
I mean, like I'm intrigued to see what they do with Hopper, because like let's be real, he's not really dead.
No, he's not dead. He's just been.
They're gonna hold him for like half of the next season.
He's the Red Guardian during this period of time, and then he pops out in that Black Widow movie.
Yeah, I know. Like, it'd be great.
That'd be so fucking funny.
He's just super old.
And then at the end of Stranger Things season 4, it actually will be the kids and the Avengers team up to destroy the monster in the Upside Down.
Iron Man flies it.
Chris Hemsworth is fucking there like
Fat Thor.
Fat Thor.
I sort of want to see them do like like here like an It 2 style thing eventually, where maybe they just like take a break for a few years and we see them all as adults.
That actually
in the present day.
That'd be kind of cool.
That'd be fucking awesome.
That'd be interesting.
I'm intrigued on how they're gonna end this. The actual like real life inspiration of this is also very interesting. There's a book called Montauk, where Montauk, New York, which there was supposedly like a power plant that had opened an extra dimensional portal.
Oh shit!
And there was a monster running around in this city, and it's supposedly completely like classified by the CIA. It's this weird like conspiracy theory book.
Look that up. That'd be
like,
fucking
and
wild.
hey, to confirm it, the working title for Stranger Things is Montauk.
Interesting.
Yeah, it's very, very cool to think of.
That's fucking
and
wild.
especially that the CIA has all this shit that's classified.
Yeah.
And with all the MK Ultra stuff and how that inspired Eleven's powers, look into that shit.
Yeah.
Talk about like giving you some nightmares.
No joke. Like I mean, some of those like deep cuts from the CIA are real fucking like.
I mean, for those that don't know, MK Ultra was all about like the CIA was putting acid into water supplies.
They're basically like
seeing what it did to the human mind.
Basically, like they were like experimenting with like extreme hallucinogenics and extreme like just kind of just how drugs interact with the mind and like
and
how
that
they
was
could, like really like
I think that's the basis
people.
of Eleven's mom's powers.
Yeah, they kind of made that pretty. They pretty much made that connection.
Yeah, and I was like, it's very interesting.
Yeah,
I'm excited to see what they do with that.
Same. Also, real quick,
Disney versus Netflix.
Deadpool 3 is officially like being made, so I'm really stoked about that.
And we'll talk about some Batman stuff next week. We didn't get to in this episode.
There's plenty of it. There's plenty of time. Go out there, use your brain for good.
Amen.
And get the fuck out.